You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver media podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters. CanadianTarot.com, your uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community and forum, and the Peppermaster, hot pepper sauces made from fresh farm ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind. Good morning, and hello, kids, and welcome to Season 3 and episode number 167, I'm going to go with at the moment. Yes, it is, of the Daily Beaver Morning Show here on the Crier Media Network. Today, recording day, is Thursday, July 20th, 2023, and it is going to be a beautiful sunny day here at the Beaver Lodge with temperatures that don't feel like 30, at least for the first time in a while.
Thank goodness.
Yes. Very nice. Thank you. I appreciate the day off. Thank you, Mother Nature. I'm your host, the Eager Beaver, pronouns he, him, hey, Mr. Beaver, and with me as always is my dear friend, Mr. Grizzly, and we are bright and colorful today as a combo, aren't we? That is
Indeed.
a vibrant blue, and I have a very vibrant red on. There we go. And again, we did not coordinate.
Nope.
Nope. Just all right. And a big thank you goes to our podcast's founding sponsors, the Peppermaster, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, and CanadianTarot.com. Hello, all you lovely kits. Kit Jen, Kit Mike H. Hey, nice to see you today. Kit Saucy. Hope Mama's doing well. Hope the babies are doing well as well. Kit Linda, Kit Jillian, Kit Mystical. Hey, nice to see you too. And hey, Kit Wishful Sun. Hey, it's so nice. It's so nice. It's a variety of people today.
Okay, I just got that now.
What?
I just got that when you said it. I always read it as Mystic Al. You said Mystic Al.
Yeah.
Oh. I just got it. I'm a little slow off the draw sometimes, you know.
Well, it might be Mystical. And
Mystic Al or Mystical. It's kind of like the rapper, Mystical. Back that up. Tell me what you got. Remember that?
I like that. Yeah.
Show me what you got.
Mr. Grizzly, how's your mental health today? We had thank you for the kits, by the way, for waiting. We had some pre-show giggles.
couple of giggles. Yeah. I'm well, hey, Mr. Beaver, I'm pretty good.
You.
Well, I had I can feel a migraine coming on.
Oh damn.
Okay, but here's the thing. I was sitting here and I'm trying to do some stuff and all these lights are on me and Bridget, who she just left a second ago. She looks at me. She goes, "Are you okay?" I go, "No, I got a migraine coming on." She goes, "Come here," and she started to massage my head and then put some moisturizer on my shoulders and rub my back and just like, "Here you go. Is that better?" I'm like, the difference is night and day. It like just, I mean, I took some aspirin and a Benadryl. Yeah, I think you can hear I'm a little stuffed up, eh?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not 100%, but I like that helped tremendously between the like literally, trying to massage the brain and my shoulders to help, and then put some moisturizer on my back because I got a little bit of a sunburn on the weekend. Because dumb that I am, we go up to go
Say more.
paddleboarding, and I forgot to put on sunscreen. So I'm sitting there, and I'm like, wait, oh shit, I didn't bring my wetsuit, I didn't bring my sun shirt, I didn't bring my hat that I have that's for paddling when I dragon boated. I completely forgot all of this stuff. So I had to go to a store in town and buy, because I wasn't going to wear my straw hat, right? I mean,
Right.
even though it can get wet and it's fine, it was expensive and I don't want to ruin it. So I ended up buying this cloth hat with like, it's a reversible. So on one side, it's got like, it's dark blue with palm trees. It's really goofy looking. It's a big bucket hat. And if I flip it over, it looks like the Day of the Dead. And she took a couple of photos. She's like, "You look so ridiculous in that hat." And I go, "Yeah, I know." The next morning, she looks at me. She goes, "Oh, that was a good purchase, that hat, because it kept my head,
Yeah.
my ears, my face,
Yep.
from getting fried."
Right.
And you're on the water on a paddleboard. The sun's just beating down on you the whole time. And we got on the water at like 10:30 in the morning, and we were out till 2 in the afternoon. So prime time for sunshine, right?
Right.
Ooh, I
Right.
made a rhyme.
Yeah, I
Ooh,
like that.
I made a
That's like,
rhyme.
you gotta write that one down.
Prime time for
It's
sunshine.
prime time for sunshine here at the Beaver Lodge.
Goes along with the ASMR, the Angry Speedo Man rant.
To get you revved up. And then the Monday SMR to bring back down.
So here's the funny thing. Bridget jumped. She watches the show frequently, not every day. When life. But she says she caught it. She jumped on at 8 o'clock. She goes, "Oh my God, you guys are still going." So she missed. She's like, "What's with the Angry Speedo Man?" So I was explaining it to her last night, and I said, "You and Douglas are the writers and the PR people. You have to talk. We figure out a way we can put this together and make it happen. This could generate some income." So she's like, "Well, I'm on it. I'll be talking to Douglas about this." I'm like, "Cool."
I swear. Hey, who back in the day when they were talking about, hey, hear me out. How about people professionally reading the news while they take their clothes off?
Yeah. Everybody went, "That'll never work." 25 years later, it's still going strong.
Right. So,
Yes, and a friend of the network and the show, who's been on Casual Fridays a couple times, is one of those newsreaders,
uh-huh.
Emmeline.
Who's in Jamaica at the moment,
Oh, way to go, Emmeline. Good for
by
you.
the way. Yep. They're doing a web event
Oh,
over a
nice.
couple. Yep. They've sent, I guess, like 10 beautiful people down to someplace in Jamaica, and there's going to be games and such. And
Read the
this,
news
and then
with no
and then
clothes
there
on.
are three people, of course, hosting the show, reporting back. And it seems that she has been doing such a good job there that she was picked for this assignment.
Nice, nice. Well, so I know we all kind of chuckle at the whole naked news thing, but here, it really is the news,
Mm-hmm.
and the people who read it. Well, you remember, was it Victoria, the first woman they had? I'm like,
Yeah,
why is
Sinclair, I
she?
believe.
Yeah, Victoria Single. Why is she not on like a national news? Because her voice was perfect,
Mm-hmm.
and she delivered it in such a way that it was enticing. But she was also, in the nude, but that really was for me personally, because that was secondary, because she delivered it so well.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one of the things that a lot of people said. She's like, "Why is this woman not like an anchor somewhere? She's so good." They're like, "Well, that's the way the industry works, right? They just don't want to give you a break." But with the internet, we can make the break for you.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, Naked News started before internet,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It was on TV. I mean, you had to pay for it,
Yeah.
but I mean, it. It's like I'm not sure it's on TV anymore. I think now they've
No,
gone
it's just,
fully digital.
yeah.
But hey,
Yeah.
right?
You're right.
There's
It
a
started as
market
a,
for everything.
was it a pay cable channel? Like, yeah, like a pay.
Or I think it was like just a show first.
Mhm. Yes.
They said that was on some tape, and then eventually it. I don't know if it. Maybe it didn't. I'm not sure if it became its own channel while on TV.
I don't recall.
That I don't know that. But yes, but it was. It started on TV,
Mhm. Mhm.
right? So, uh, could you imagine the pitch meeting back then?
What?
Like 2023, almost anything goes now. But I mean,
Yeah,
it's.
yeah, 95 or whatever it was. No, nobody will watch that. Actually, there's a huge market for it, my friend.
Hey, I didn't think anybody would watch this.
Well, there's a market for everything. It just sometimes it takes a little bit of time to find the market, right?
Right.
Um, so you start small, and as the market grows, you grow with it.
Yeah.
Because when we started out, we started out very humbly, and we've invested, well, a fair chunk of money into new equipment, new cameras, lighting, microphone.
Time
It takes time. You
and
build,
just time.
and time. Yeah.
I mean, you make it.
So
That's like when we decided to do this particular the morning show. We made a commitment that, like, okay, for the
okay.
next foreseeable moment, we're going to be getting up at a certain hour of the morning, which means we have to get to bed at a certain hour at night, which means there's certain things we are going to forgo. Right.
Well,
So it's it's not just the money, and it's like
money.
not just the money, money, money. Yes, we need the money, money, money. Because we're looking at the price tags. Yee.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay. I'd like to see them read the news while playing naked volleyball. That'd be a challenge.
That would be.
You naughty, naughty, naughty.
That may challenge the term spike. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I
Kids,
never thought of it like
they
that.
grow up so fast. I love it. You can all sit next to
Yeah.
me. You can all sit next to me. That's my kind of humor right there.
Did you ever? So in high school, we used to have a blind volleyball tournament, and I know that sounds terrible. Blind volleyball? No, no. What you did was you set up the volleyball court as
Okay.
you normally would, but you put a giant sheet over the
Oh,
net
yes. Yes.
that went from the top of the net to the floor,
Yes.
so you couldn't see
Yes.
the opposing team.
Yes. We've done that. Yeah.
And somebody goes, well, that sounds actually interesting. It's really difficult because it actually reduces the speed of the game. Almost nobody spikes because
Right.
you know, you're trying to. I don't know. Do we?
There was one time I remember I was at a curling rink, and because the targets are at either end, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they had a junior program where they painted some targets in the middle for the little kids, and I'm sitting there going, "Okay, hear me out. One team at each end." Yes, and you try to show to the middle, so you're just trying to throw just past the rings to block the other people from going in, and you knock out. Hear me out,
that 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 could work.
right?
Full contact competitive curling.
I keep on saying if you bring the hip check into curling, the ratings go up.
You know what?
I'm just saying.
Let's get Colin in on that one. He would know. Hey, Colin, do you think this would fly?
Or, if you want to get curling into the X Games, the curling ice.
Yes, that's what you full contact
No,
curling.
the curling ice has just a little slope up and then down.
So you got to throw the rock hard enough to get over the slope,
Yeah.
but not so hard that it
Doesn't come
gets
back
air. Because
at
if it
you.
gets air, it's going to destroy the ice on the other side. Yeah, ooh. That's an idea. I would like to see that.
Uh-huh. Always thinking. Always thinking. Sorry, I got stuff in my throat today. Yes, lakeshore curling where you play to the rings near the hack. Yep, exactly.
I don't know what
Because
that
I'd
is,
never
but
seen,
sure.
I'd curled all my life, and I'd never seen that. And then one day I went to a rink, and I thought, what a clever idea for the kids.
Mm.
And then I thought, hey.
You're trying to body check the other players out of the way. Full contact curling. Friday night curling. Here we go. All right, kids, Cubs, watch this.
It's the Maulers against the Thrashers.
There'll be blood on the ice.
And we're curling for meat. You win a turkey.
Oh, right, yeah,
or,
okay.
or a freezer.
What?
Yeah, you win a free. You never saw curling for men with brooms curling for meat. Like often people with the prize would be like a freezer full of meat.
I think I have seen that actually. And Linda, that could be interesting. Croquet curl. For those of you who don't know what crokinole is, it's an octagonal board.
Okay. Yes.
It's so think of it like curling, but there's little goalposts, and you got to. The idea is to try and get your player. It's like a chess. So you've got black and white. I'll also say black and white, but usually it's brown and light brown. Um, Little discs that look like checkers, and the idea is to flick it with your finger to try and get it to the center of the board. But you've got these little goalposts, and you're trying to get it through the goalpost to get it dead center to score a bullseye. I'm like, and crokinole, you play it with multiple people can play it because it's 8-sided, so you could literally have 8 people playing, and everybody gets their turn to shoot. That crokinole curling, that could be interesting.
I never heard of it, but there's a global video.
Oh yeah. Crokinole. I mean, like,
But they had something in Toronto at the Stacked Market. They actually set up a croquet curl thing in Toronto in
oh
2019.
really?
Yeah.
Well,
There's
that's
some like
interesting.
there's a global. I've never heard of it until now.
You know crokinole, though. You're familiar with that?
Yeah.
Okay, but croquet curl, that's a real thing. Holy shit.
Okay, hold on. Well, wait a minute. I'm gonna put this up here.
Okay, we gotta see this. We gotta see this.
You could be looking at the first croquet curl game ever played in Toronto. The Canadian-made mashup of crokinole and curling has landed in the city's Stacked Market and already has some loyal fans.
It's really fun. And like it's outside. And everybody likes to be outside. Every time we go to 20, that means you get 2 20s or 5 20s. And if you get 2 20s, you get 100. Hi.
Philippe DeVos brought his son Callan and friend Kai down to play during their PA day off school.
They're loving it. I mean, the rock's a bit heavy for them, but they don't seem to mind me helping. You can see they're quite excited. They're quite competitive. They're upset when they don't get the 20.
This is actually the first refrigerated croquet curl rink in the world. With Toronto's often unpredictable climate, it allows it to open earlier in the season and stay open until March.
We built this custom Zamboni, custom scraper, custom rocks, just because we needed it to be specific to what the Toronto experience would be.
Croquet curl was invented by a Winnipeg architecture firm 2 years ago and quickly spread to other cities like Saskatoon and Calgary.
I think that it's really popular for people all across Canada because it's new for everybody. So it's not something that really anybody is an expert at.
And we think that croquet curl is this great sort of equalizer where it's good for all ages, it's good for all skill sets. An expert curler could lose at this game to a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
And while croquet curl may not be Canada's game, some think it may climb the ranks.
I think because this sport pairs well with beer, I think because this could definitely be a secondary sport for Canada.
So beyond croquet curl, the festival also includes live comedy and jazz. But for those who want to croquet...
Oh. Okay, first of all, those kids were so cute.
Adorable, yeah.
My heart melted.
I like this croquet curl thing now. The whole idea. Hang on a second. I'm just playing with my camera. Is this better? Or is that better?
One
this
or two.
One or this one? Yeah, he got it right. 1 or 2. 1 or 2.
Where'd you go?
And, oh, you're blind in that eye. I see.
Where'd you go? Oh, there you were.
That's the old joke. The old joke. So this fella from Newfoundland decides he's going to join the army, and he goes in for his physical. It's good. It's a good one. You can write it down. Goes in for his physical, and the doctor says, "All right, we're going to do the hearing test. We're going to do this." And he says, "Okay, now let's do the vision test." He goes, "I got to ask you a question before we do this." He said, "No, sorry, I'm going to do the hearing test, and before we do this, I got to ask you a question." He goes, "Okay, what's that?" He goes, "So if I cut off your right ear, what'll happen?" He goes, "Well, tell you what, By, I'll lose the sight in my right eye." He goes, "What? That's a strange response." Okay. How about if so your right ear is good. I'm going to cut off your left ear. What'll happen? He goes, "Oh, geez, By, I tell you this, I'll lose the sight in my left eye. Is what'll happen." He goes, "What?" He writes that down. He's like, this Newfoundlander fellow's kind of odd. He goes, all right. What happens now if I cut off both your ears?" He goes, geez, By, I'll be totally blind. I won't be able to see a thing now. I sat down. He goes, could you explain to me how if I cut your ears off, you can't see? He goes, "Well, here's the thing, By. Look, I'll tell you this, By." He says, look now. He goes, you cut off me right ear, right? Yeah. You cut off me right ear. My hat falls down over my right eye. Can't see out of it. You cut off my left ear. Hat falls down over my left eye. Can't see a thing. You cut them both off. The hat just drops right down. That's it. I'm completely blind. It's a good one. Write it down. It's a good one. Our Tenergy's By. I'll tell you this now. Whale, oil, beef, hooked. Say it fast in a sentence. Well, I'll be fucked. What?
I have never heard that one.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Write it down.
Oh my God. What are ears for? Well, supporting the hat, of course.
Good for everybody.
I love it. All right.
The octogenarian who went to the doctor and said, "I have an incredible pain under my left breast." She goes, "That's your knee." I know, that's terrible, right? It's terrible. I know. I'm going to hell for that one.
I believe on this network for a few people that one would have levels.
Well,
that's all I'll say.
That's the point, right? Yeah, Doc, I got a terrible pain on my left breast. I don't know, it's terrible pain. It's terrible. He goes, "Yeah, that would be your left knee. You have arthritis."
I wasn't there when it happened. I've only heard tales.
The rich golfer getting gas in his Mercedes in Newfoundland. I don't know that one, Jillian. You got to share that one. I don't know that joke. I do not know that one. The rich
what?
The rich golfer getting gas in his Mercedes in Newfoundland. I do not know this one, but I got to hear it.
Okay,
you got to share that one. I don't know it at all.
All right. In the news, kitties, the strike in the BC ports is off again.
It's off again?
It's off again.
It was on again yesterday, right? So it's off again?
Yeah, and it's off again now.
I don't know what happened.
Nobody knows really exactly why at the moment, but the International Longshore and Warehouse Union rescinded its 72-hour strike notice.
Mm-hmm.
The strike has cost the economy is estimated to have cost the economy about $10 billion so far. The Minister of Labor, Seamus O'Regan Jr., who has been leaving the process play out, but is already on record as saying that the two sides aren't far enough apart to warrant disruption, which led to the federal mediator being brought in, which led to the agreement that everybody seemed to like until they didn't. And, well, it seems that Mr. Rogaine made it clear that he is starting to run out of patience.
I did see that. I did see that comment. He's kind of like he's gone. The fuse is short now.
Yeah, and he said that the strike is illegal, and to back that up, he went to a federal board, and that board did indeed rule that the strike, this portion of the strike, was illegal. Nobody knows whether or not the rescinding of that 72-hour order was done because of that or because they are still negotiating. But so they are back on the job while they are negotiating. The government also called a meeting of the incidents response group at the time, which means that things are starting to get. So I don't know if that was a signal that this is starting to get much. But interesting thing about this is that, pardon? Oh, okay. You have the joke. I'm not reading it right now. But the interesting thing about this is that I will read it after. The interesting thing about this is that, remember PP's comment of yesterday? Inaction and incredible and colossal incompetence. You don't get a decision from the Canadian Federal Industrial Board, I think it's called, that quickly. Ever.
No.
That must have meant that the entire time what was going on, you had stuff prepared in case this would happen. And the second it happened, it was dropped there.
Yeah.
The man did his homework. The man let the process play out and had the thing prepared for the instant it would be needed, should it be needed. Now, that doesn't mean they still can't go on strike. Right? There's negotiating that's continuing. But this portion, just walking away, I guess, from a federal mediated process and, going back on strike on the pickets right away before putting the next notice and whatnot. So right now, nobody is in the legal position to strike. So that's where things stand at the moment. And hopefully the negotiations are continuing because clearly they weren't that far apart because they seemed happy with this deal at one point. All the signs were pointing to yes. And then something happened. It must have been like somebody said something the wrong way in a meeting that let something slip and said, you know what? Screw you. That's, I assume. That could be totally something else. This part here is just pure speculation on, what I see most likely and plausible based on human behavior. But yeah. Anyway, but they are at work, and negotiations are still continuing because I've heard nothing about people having walked away from the table. So once again, it seems that the government has other tools than just legislating people back to work right away.
Wow. That's
bringing in a federal mediator, calling a meeting to show that, okay, now we're starting to take this seriously because they're starting to have national impacts. You might want to be a little more agreeable, a little more cooperative with each other because there are other steps.
Oh, yeah.
Right? You don't necessarily, like you said, you don't need a sledgehammer to kill a mosquito when it's on your nutsack. Like, just, they're the port workers.
Yeah.
They work at a place where things come in and out. They're fortunate to have a little extra incentive when they go on strike by the impact of it, but the strike is supposed to hurt. That's kind of the point.
Yeah, it's the point
to
of
get your attention.
Well,
right?
That the video we aired yesterday of Trey Crowder saying everybody is about to go on strike because we're tired. We're tired of getting screwed over by the man. And I realize I look like the man. I'm not the man. I just look like him. I just look like him.
Around here, you're the man, but not the man.
Not the man. No. So
that's like. Sorry.
Go ahead.
And I was going to say that was like, remember on the Daily Show with Ahmed, the radical Muslim. He was a surfer.
Yeah. That's a thing too, by the way, in real life. Like, come on, people.
Right. It is.
So two quick things here. I mentioned this in the write up I did about how Skippy the Wonder Pigeon decided that he should basically dox a resident of Niagara Falls, and
oh yeah,
I've got the clip. Do you want to see it?
Yeah. I saw the clip. Yeah. Let's play.
Let's play the clip. Well, let's go to the tape.
Yes.
So you can read it. Pierre Poilievre insults Niagara Falls homeowners, calling their homes a shack. This is from CHCH News.
In this quiet Niagara Falls neighborhood, Asha Letourneau was a little miffed with federal Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre over...
By the way, that style of home is called a strawberry box. It's it was their post-World War II. Military housing is the same. This was built by CMHC before it was called CMHC. They built them all over the country.
What he called her house.
He called it a shack. A shack. That was a little embarrassing also, because it's not.
It cost $550,000 Canadian for a tiny little shack.
Poilievre gave out the address of Letourneau's house to illustrate his argument about the housing market and invited reporters to check it out. The house is a 1.5 story.
What the fuck?
Yep.
He invited reporters to check. Dude.
Yep.
What a fucking asshole.
That's been on the market for some time. Letourneau is a renter and doesn't know why it hasn't sold, but she says it's not a shack, as Poilievre said.
I found it a little bit embarrassing, especially when I seen it on social media, but I don't know.
Poilievre's argument is that housing prices have doubled during the government of Prime Minister Trudeau, and houses just across the Niagara River in the U.S. are half the price of houses in Canada.
There's a very specific reason for that. It's because Niagara Falls, New York, is basically the buckle of the Rust Belt, where it has little to no tourism, income, anything to that. Why are you comparing prices in one country to another? I get it's across the river. It's a different country.
On the American side, 15 minutes away, you can get a big, beautiful, multi-level with a garage and a big lot for $217,000 Canadian. Why is it that you pay twice as much for a quarter of the home on the Canadian side of the border?
Poilievre didn't give an address for the American house, but real estate listings for Buffalo tend to support his argument. There are plenty of houses priced in the 200,000s and even less. The average price in Ontario last month was just over 900,000. Poilievre says the difference between housing in Canada and the U.S. is government policy.
Rent has doubled. Mortgage payments have doubled. Needed down payments have all doubled. It's double trouble with Trudeau on housing.
Poilievre says he'd fix that as Prime Minister.
Build, 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 build. We're going to bring homes people can afford.
But Asha Letourneau saw Poilievre's comments today after working nights as a waitress and doesn't agree with his assessment of her home.
It's not the greatest house on the street, but it's definitely not a shack.
Al Sweeney, CHCH News, Niagara Falls.
Okay, there's so much wrong with all of that.
All of that.
First off, Pierre Poilievre, you're a fucking asshole for doing that to that person.
Yes, you are.
You're a fucking asshole for doing that to a private citizen. You have no right to do that. So fuck you, okay? I'm really angry about this, in case you didn't notice. Number one.
I'm not standing in your way.
And number two, you're comparing the prices of housing in a different country where they have no health care. They have, sure, yeah, they might pay a little bit less in income taxes, but on the whole, they actually pay more to just exist than we do. Comparing real estate prices from one country to another is stupid. for a number of reasons. And the reason the prices are so high in Canada, it's because your guy, Stephen Harper, was the guy who changed the rules about foreign investment in real estate. There's so much wrong with what he just did, let alone the fact that he just doxed a private citizen and thought, well, I can do this because that's, what a fucking asshole.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
grappling here. I never thought we'd see the day where an elected official would be outright insulting the living conditions of private citizens. But here we are. And down we go.
Well, and
Gillian, I love our all-powerful and influential prime minister.
Well, so I'm going to stick on this for a couple of seconds. This is sticking with Skippy's powerful whatever the fuck for the moment. I'm sorry, I'm really angry right now. So this guy, G McThink, at RedSnoopy69 on Twitter. I've been earning paychecks for 35 plus years. I don't ever recall looking at any check and thinking, that's a powerful paycheck. Even working 7 days a week, 16-hour shifts. I wouldn't describe the check as powerful. So what is a powerful paycheck? Is it a paycheck with no CPP contributions?
Mm-hmm. No CPP contributions, no EI contributions, and no union dues.
You're on your own. You're on your own.
Mm-hmm. Freedom.
Like freedom
to fail.
Freedom to suffer and to wither and die on the vine. Freedom to, I don't know, pay less taxes because, wait a minute, Skippy, if we pay less taxes, won't that hurt you? Are you cutting off your nose to spite your face? I'm just asking a question.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And then we got Kit Saucy, who noticed something I also noticed, saying build, build, build is all fine and dandy, but what is the plan? As usual, Pierre has no plan.
Zero.
Exactly.
Well, and CMHC...
If you can't get the materials, you don't have the workers, you don't have the equipment, the big equipment that you need to excavate or whatever, everything, because it's not available or there's just limited supply. Like, build, build, build. How? Where? With what?
And that was downloaded to the provinces back in, 1992 or 93, I think, something like that.
I don't remember when, but it's been a while.
Yeah, the federal government has not built houses for over 30 years. That was handed down to the province, downloaded to the provinces to take care of. And guess what happened? Successive conservative governments haven't built a goddamn thing, nor will they. And what do we have here? A surplus of $22 billion in Ontario?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah. And now I heard a while back that the premiers are all getting together to do to the federal government on infrastructure money the same thing they're doing on healthcare, just like give us money and don't ask us where it goes.
No, that's not how it works, folks.
Yeah, because we just gave you billions of health dollars, and
I think they're sitting on $70 billion that they've not invested into healthcare.
Yeah,
as evidenced by all the stories I hear about people from different parts of the country. It's like, if you got to go to the ER in Quebec, drive to Ontario if you can. If you got to go to the ER in Nova Scotia, don't.
Indeed. And then we had Kit Tabby G going, I guess I live in a shack. And you know what, Kit Tabby G? Me too.
Yeah.
This is a chair. A couple of streets down was a runway for planes.
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole big field.
So would that make your house the Radio Shack? Saw what I did there.
So, hi Pierre. Me again. Thanks, dude. Especially since you're living in a shack that all of us pay for. You're in a real good position to be talking.
Well, let's look at the stupidity of all of this, right?
Dumbass.
Once again, just when we think things are, somewhat, it goes off the rails. And I'm going to share this on the screen because it's sticking with housing, it's sticking with home ownership, it's sticking with all of that. This is from Dale Smith. Sigh. Once again, for those of you in the back, and it's like he wrote this as I would say it. Rent control is 100% provincial jurisdiction. Landlord-tenant legislation is 100% provincial jurisdiction. Justin Trudeau cannot tell the premiers to institute rent control. He doesn't have that power. And here's where I say, this is where it gets just sideways. NDP breaking under Justin Trudeau. Rent has hit a record high, up 60%. Meanwhile, the corporate landlords continue to make record profits. It's clear the Liberals are out of touch when it comes to this housing crisis. Okay.
That thing might as well just said under the eager beaver. Because I have about as much control over it as they do. That happened under my watch too, there, Jugmeat.
Like, it's when the NDP does this, I'm like, guys, you're losing us.
Yep.
You're losing us. And actually, quite frankly, they've lost me altogether. The federal NDP party has lost me altogether over the last couple of years because they just keep playing the con game. And I'm sick of it. Sick of it.
See, the thing is, the NDP has to do something to differentiate itself from the Liberals, given the confidence and supply agreement. But rather than doing something smart, like sometimes he does. Sometimes he does. There was this thing the other day that I just saw, and I don't remember what it was. I wish I could remember what it was, where he spoke about something, and it was just, it was good. It was really good. It was solid. I think I have it in my bookmarks. I'll find it at some point. Again, the overreach. The Conservatives and the NDP have the same problem. You can criticize the federal government for maybe not beefing up a national housing strategy. You can maybe say, criticize. I mean, it would be criticize monetary policy. Yeah, you might want to say that the government should see the need and put an injection into social housing or something. But just because he exists and he breathes and happens to be at the helm of the government at this time, and this happened at the same time, it's all his fault, regardless of jurisdiction, regardless of reality. Just the simple press play robot, anybody can come up with it type thing. That's where they lose me. It's the lack of effort. It's the lack of seriousness that the job requires.
They just, let's copy what the other guy did. I'm like,
it really is. It's like the assignment is due at 10 a.m. and for whatever reason I was busy till 8 a.m. and it's like, this is what I'm give us the book report. Well, there was a story and there were characters and there was a plot and stuff happened and there was a critical moment of decision and then a denouement.
It's like the old Uncle Fester, can you read us a bedtime story? Sure thing. A prince was born, he lived, he died. The end. Good night.
Right. It's like, oh man. Jeez. Really, really. Kid Pete, hey my friend. Lovely to see you here. Yes, it can be a love shack. That's true.
Yeah, I just
Love shack. There's a love shack.
This is my exasperated face.
Yeah, baby, that's where it's at. Yeah, I know. It's again, it's the repeated insults to our intelligence. I think that's the thing that exhausts me more than anything. Yeah, there's the negativity, there's that, and that's heavy and whatnot. But that I can.
Yeah, we can mitigate.
Yeah, I can. But it's the constant miserableism. I am choosing to be miserable.
Well,
right?
especially when you consider where it's coming from. Like, come on, since you took that job, you've not had a miserable day. A miserable day is when, okay, I'm flat broke, the hydro bill is due, the rent's coming up in 3 days, I've got a loaf of bread, half a loaf of bread, and nothing to put on it, and I don't get paid for 5 days. That's miserable.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
when you have the golden handcuff retirement package, and you're being miserable all the damn time, get the fuck out of here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Like, it's just like, come on.
Well, I'm going to illustrate something miserable by going through well, you know that John Baird thing, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Got taken to the woodshed, right?
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah. And then he puts out this one. Well, you saw it, right? But it had a second part,
mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So the Liberal Party's publicly funded spin machine is back at it. Political success does not equal competent leadership. Yeah, because, right, the most successful prime minister of our generation has been successful in absolutely everything except competently governing. Let's see. What's going on here is, like, the guy, as we keep on saying, because of his longevity and because the old longevity players like Merkel
Mm-hmm.
have
They've
moved
all
on.
stepped away. Yeah.
He is the dean of the collective of nations that are considered to be more on the progressive side.
Yep.
And let's be clear here, right? When we say more on the progressive side, because the right keeps on saying that, oh my God, the liberals have gone so far left. The liberals have not gone left. The liberals have stayed exactly where they are.
Well, in many
They campaign
instances,
from the left, they govern from the center right, they do a couple of social things and leave some stuff behind. Like this,
like you
this
said,
time we'll take care and whatnot with the NDP, the dental plan, and all that kind of stuff. They leave some stuff behind.
mm-hmm.
And then in each successive election for the last 3 or 4 elections, the conservatives have been doing the Rocky Horror time warp thing. And then a step to the right. Just because you keep moving right doesn't mean that the other people have moved more left.
Well,
you're the one.
I've said it. I've said it
We're
on
more
this
left
program.
relative to you because you keep moving right.
I've said it on this program, and I'll say it again right here, right now. Justin Trudeau's Liberal Party is more in lockstep with
Progressive Conservative,
the Progressive Conservative Party of the early 1980s, the Joe Clark Progressive Conservative Party.
Mm-hmm.
They are literally, this is no joke when I say this, I would say that the modern day Liberal Party, the modern day federal Liberal Party, federal Liberals,
mm-hmm.
are just a slight shade different from the Progressive Conservative Party of the late 1970s and early 1980s.
Yeah, they're like a Progressive Conservative Party, but with boosted progressive.
Boosted progressive, yes.
On the progressive side.
Yep.
It literally is. So, but then he goes, today, as the co-chair of the Australia-Canada Economic Leadership Conference, I introduced PM Trudeau. The CBC manipulated my remarks in an attempt to sow discord in the Conservative Party. I support my friend Pierre Poilievre, our next Prime Minister, full stop, #defund the CBC.
Oh, come on. That's just...
That was the second part. Everybody focused on the first part, but I will put it up there because when I said woodshed,
mm-hmm.
I probably should have said the second part because the first one, right? That's like, the Liberal publicly funded spin machine is back at it. And I'm like, but the second part,
yes,
like, that is something, my friends. So this guy, good puppy.
But here's the thing.
Basically what happened is that PP got his fifis hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Jenny B called him in, tore a strip off him because we know what her mouth is like.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. We know. Mm-hmm. And then Sarah F then told him what his lines were going to be.
Oh, he didn't even write that. Definitely one of his people wrote it, and it was dictated to him. Write this verbatim.
Right.
Damn well.
Right.
There was nothing manipulated by the CBC. We saw the tape. He was gushing. He hugged. He embraced. He said wonderful things about the current Prime Minister of Canada, and all of a sudden, they manipulated my... Nothing was manipulated. We saw this. We saw the tape, dude. John, and I'm going to addressing you personally here, John Baird. We've met a number of times. We have a lot of friends in common. Don't be that asshole. Like, seriously. Guy, you've got your issues just like everybody else on earth, but don't be that fucking guy. You're better than that.
Right.
You're better than that.
Yeah.
And you just bent over for your leader. By the way, John, you're no longer in politics.
Mm-hmm.
Pierre Poilievre, that guy will never be prime minister. Never. It's never going to happen. So why are you, genuflecting towards him with this shit?
Yep. Now, the statement from Baird, after 8 years of liberal waste, corruption, and incompetence. As the head of this organization, if he truly believed it had been 8 years of liberal waste, especially corruption and incompetence, given that he comes from a party where somebody actually went to jail.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And many others got tried. And many associates went to jail. And he's got a fellow senator that has some creepy sexual stuff. And the party pleaded guilty in court to trying to steal an election through illegal financing. And this is what's in this party's DNA, right? Who's accusing everybody else of corruption? This is stuff that they've pled guilty to, have been found guilty to, have been charged with. Okay? Like, these are like facts and things you have done, and the whole past behavior is the best predictor of future behavior type thing, right? This party has corruption in its DNA.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? Really, if it had been 8 years of, and that's how you know it's his line, right? Because after 8 years of Trudeau, why would John Baird be mentioning 8 years specifically, right?
Skippy's talking points.
It's Skippy. It's Skippy's words shoved into his mouth, then put his hand up him, and here you go.
Did he shove those words down his throat?
Oh.
I'm just asking
questions. Just asking questions. But as the co-chair of the Australia-Canada Economic Leadership Conference, Mr. Baird, if you truly did believe that the person coming to open up the conference or give the keynote, I'm not sure if he was the keynote or whatever, was somebody who had delivered 8 years of liberal waste, especially corruption and incompetence, why did you show up to introduce him? And the embrace, the smile, the enthusiastic tone of voice when you did introduce him. And if somebody had truly, in your mind, brought about 8 years of waste, especially corruption and incompetence, it seems to me that never would the word successful have been spoken. I did not see a chamber pointed to your head when you bellied up to that podium to say those words.
No.
So, Mr. Baird, you're the type of guy that gives glowing introductions to people who have provided 8 years of liberal waste, especially corruption and incompetence?
It's like, John, again, I'm addressing this to you personally. You had a backbone. Did somebody rip your spine out? Because that is a spineless comment. You the flip-flop. It's
so
exasperated. Once again, exasperated.
Having Post begged Karima for forgiveness.
I saw that.
I
Well,
did
let's
a
put it
thing.
on the screen. Put it on the screen.
I kind of altered something.
Well, sometimes that happens.
Oh, is it there?
Yeah. No, it disappeared. It disappeared.
Oh, hold on. There we go. Let's try it again because it wasn't appearing. There we go.
Yeah, it wasn't appearing. I'll try this, but all I got is a blank screen.
There you go.
Oh, there we go.
So that, like I said, BB's Fifi's got hurt. BB's Fifi's got hurt. Jenny B heaped a shit ton of verbal abuse on him. Sarah pulled a Nirvana yell at you on Beardsy, and the result is this. What the fuck? Flip flop. That really did not stick the landing. John Baird, Carrie Strug, you are not. Yeah. John, you'll say whatever we tell you to say. Now, be a good boy. I even changed the logo on the ball gag.
I saw that.
And Karima didn't seem to get too mad at me. So,
did you talk to her about it, or just?
Well, yeah. Well, not beforehand, but after I did it, I did. I okay. If you put that up.
Okay, just give me a sec. You got to blow it up. It's really tiny.
Okay.
You blow that up, and I'll put it on the screen here.
I realized that maybe I should have. With so many apologies to Karima for quite liberally, it has levels, adapting with minimal skills her excellent Brian Lilly work.
Give credit to the content creator, and usually 99 out of 100 times, if you give credit to the content creator seems to go, yeah, no worries, we're good.
She gave me a little heart, so I think I'm forgiven.
I think you're okay.
I hope I'm forgiven.
I think you're going to be all right. I think you're going to be all right.
If not, I guess there'll be papers in the mail. So, no, I'm kidding.
Well,
please. I'll bring you all the ice cream you want.
I'm going to incorporate a new Beverly Hills 90210.
So, we have that, and here's the part where we get to when I talk about miserableism. This guy, another one I have no time for.
TFG stands for that former guy, but I always go with that guy.
Yeah, this one here.
It's not loading for some reason. I don't know why.
Oh, okay.
I got a black screen here.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I just saw it. Hold on. It's just taking a little time.
Up.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll just leave it up again.
Let's try this once again.
It's gonna take a little time, but everything will be fine. Come on.
It's not loading.
Oh, now it's just being capricious.
Yeah. Okay. So go ahead and why don't you read it out while I grab a cup of coffee? I'll be right back.
All right.
Because I'm sitting here in my underwear, I'm going to turn my camera off, because if you want to see me in the Speedo, you got to pay money for my OnlyFans. Angry Speedo Man Rants.
ASMR. Oh, Pete. Oh, you have the flu. Feel better, my friend. I'm sending you love and healing energy. And yes, Kit Saucy Karima's cartoons are indeed always on point. Kit Elaine, my favorite part of the introduction was Apex Hottie. Oh man, I love it. Yeah. So Jonathan K, right, of the infamous Ks, the literal, just white privilege like you can't believe this guy. At this point, I think I'd pretty much vote for anyone who promises to get rid of the CBC, while subtweeting John Baird's tweet, because the CBC manipulated my remarks. And I'm thinking, like, can anyone donate a frickin' box of Snickers here?
You're not yourself when you're hungry.
So many triggered conservatives. This one here, John K., so traumatized, he's ready to go for real cheap. Anybody who promises to get rid of the CBC gets his vote. Wildfires, disease, drought, homelessness, addiction, but KK's got his priorities. If your priority is to defund the CBC and you're as white looking as this guy.
Yeah, you're being what we call a dick.
Home Wonder Bread.
Or Lachlan would call it a KAWK, a cock.
Mm-hmm. Wonder Bread home slice here.
I'll have a mayonnaise sandwich, please.
And and hold that
white
aioli.
bread. Yeah. No, just mayo.
the mayo.
Not even olive oil mayo. Regular mayo. Fuck it. Let's go with Miracle Whip.
There you go.
Miracle Whip. 2 pieces of bread. There's your sandwich.
There you go. It's this. The guy said what he said. It was reported, and then all of a sudden, this guy gets taken out behind the woodshed. Says the CBC manipulated my remarks. Your remarks were not manipulated. Nobody edited. Nobody spliced them.
Nope.
Nobody put some AI in there.
We saw the whole thing.
There's no manipulation. It was the integral. Okay, and because your friend, the leader, got his fifis hurt, and then just took this guy out to the woodshed, and now he's dancing like, dance monkey, dance monkey, dance monkey, yeah, for Pete. And now you come out and you say, well, this is enough. That the most important thing for me whenever we have this election, which could be in 2 years from now, but I've already decided, it's like CBC. If you defund that shit, that you get my vote. Nothing else, man. How freaking privileged do you really have to know where your next meal's coming from for the next 20 years for that to be that's the thing that sticks in your. It's so revealing. It's so revealing. And they choose again, you choose this look, Jonathan K, this look is a choice. And you put your name, your real one, and your real face to it.
Well, this is the so this is from PNC Bio. I'm going to put it on the screen what he wrote in the chat, or what they wrote in the chat. Sorry, which I think is very apropos. Killing the CBC will be popular with rural communities, but that would be literally cutting off your nose to spite your face. Literally doing that, because the CBC is the one thing that has been built from the ground up, from day one, to be able to reach every Canadian in every part of the country. Oh, and around the world as well. So that's the part that just blows my mind, that rural parts of the country will be all about defund the CBC. Okay, let me get vulgar here for a minute. Bitch, please. You do realize what will happen if that were to occur. You will have no news whatsoever. None. Zero. Because, as we well know, the CBC's biggest competitor would be the Canadian television network, CTV. Bell. It's not Globe Media, not Bell Globe Media. It's just Bell Media now, isn't it?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. Who owns it? Wants to get out of the news business entirely.
Yeah. And Ken Con.
Yes. So that means the only news you will get will either be from the CBC Global, and that's it, because, oh, by the way, your local television station, they're not going to deliver it ever again. It's done. So you get CBC and Global until Global says, yeah, we're out too, which, they probably won't if they've only got one serious competitor. Why would they get out of the game? Because CTV wants to end their news division entirely. Because it's not profitable. Here's the thing.
News is not supposed to be profitable.
It's not supposed to be profitable.
And that was the deal. You get to access the public airwaves, and in exchange, there's certain things that you do that are not profitable because it is a service to the nation.
We're in the upside down times, and they're, every day I just go to bed more exasperated than the next. And I said it again, and I'll say it again this day, here and this time. There's so many people I just want to smack the living hell out of. I'm not going to do it, but I really want to.
All right. I don't want to give this person profile, but I have to on this one because it displays a level of just utter ignorance. And not ignorance in the way you might be thinking, like literal
willful
ignorance.
Okay.
Used
The very definition of the term.
for a really ignorant purpose.
Mhm.
But like when we talk about just asking questions, let's see if it goes up.
Okay, we'll try and post this. Let's see what happens.
All right.
There we are.
There we go.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Jesus.
Okay, we're going to blow it up just a little. All right. Now.
A little more? One more.
One more? Okay. Now,
yeah.
It's
There we go.
Muslim Leslie Lewis, because I'm not going to say her name. It's already
No.
But you know, that lady from the Twitter account who claims she has a PhD. Anyway.
In engineering.
In engineering.
Nonetheless.
No, maybe she does. Anyway. So she's showing pictures of stuff in school where kids have made banners in support of 2S LGBTQIA students.
Mm-hmm.
And so, this teacher has just a few of the Pride Month displays and decorations featured at East York Collegiate Institute.
Mm-hmm.
So she takes that, she subtweets it, and she goes, "Do you think this is a message of inclusion or of thought control? Do we have other minority groups allowed to display their identity in our schools?" Well,
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, lady. For decades. It's been about 30 years since I've been in high school. And multicultural week.
We have prayer rooms.
Food, yeah.
Cafeteria now serves food that is halal or kosher.
Jewish kids taking the Jewish holidays off and making up. I believe Muslim kids can as well now.
Why is she behaving like, see you next Tuesday? Why? Like, why?
No, but it's like, okay, and then does freedom of expression and diversity in Canada have a new definition that we're not aware of? No, it's the same one. You're the one that seems to be wanting to change it. But if you have to ask the questions, do we have other minority groups allowed to display their identity in our schools? Maybe. Invest some time in getting to know this country before you purport to claim to know it enough to want to lead a charge to change it?
Well,
there was
somebody.
Have you met us yet?
Clearly not. There was a tweet I saw the other day from a school teacher who said, every now and then I get a little bit incensed at stuff I read online, and especially what the stuff I see on visual streaming services. And the thing she was getting at was the mis and disinformation spread around the country about the sex ed curriculum. They're teaching pornography to children. No, they're not. She said, here's the Ontario school curriculum from grade 1 to grade 8 and how it pertains to children and how it's taught. And she listed out everything. She said, every now and then I get so frustrated and I just exasperated. I throw my hands up. I just face palm the whole bit. And she says, and then I had a conversation with a gentleman named Louis. And Louis has given me permission to use his name. So Louis, L-U-I-S, Louis, said, well, what is the curriculum if it's not what I hear it is? And she literally went to the Government of Ontario website, the education, and pulled it up and handed it to him. And he's like, oh, that's not what they say it is. She's like, I know. But the problem is people are spreading lies and misinformation and disinformation. And all three of them are basically the same thing. But we need to say all three because it's important that people understand what's taking place. She says, and they're doing this to the detriment of children, to the detriment of the nation, to the detriment of education, to the detriment of newer Canadians who, as little as 10 years ago, they would have thrown you under the bus for wearing the niqab or the hijab.
Some of them tried to pull it right off your head.
Yeah. That government, the people who support that branch of the government, that party, had a snitch line. We already have that. It's called 911. And it's not a snitch line. It's like, oh, there's something terrible taking place next door. Please go and investigate. That's been around for 35
But somehow
years.
they felt we needed a special one for these special things.
to highlight a certain group of people who, oh, wait a sec. When was the last time that happened on a national scale?
World War
And it was implemented.
Last time? Internment camps?
Yeah. Well, I was going to go back to Germany in the 1939.
Yeah, but we had internment camps here.
Yeah, we did. We had Japanese internment camps. Yes. Yeah.
And there was another group I just learned of a couple.
I was just going further back as all, but yeah, that all took place.
We did it here too. We did it here too.
Well, look, here's from Tim McCaffrey. I'm going to put this on the screen because here is the exact case in point. Once they're done with the LGBTQ, Muslims are next.
I've said it on the show. They don't care what order. They tried to get the Muslims first, and they tried to get our help to get it. They kept on shows. How many times just like Pride Month has become, you go and you have Pride Month, and then you have like everybody whining because one day of the year is not their day 2 month to deal with as well. And how many, that blackface thing?
Yeah.
They keep on showing the pictures. How many times did they keep on saying, oh my God, it's so terrible what these ISIS people do to gay people? Here, watch some videos of allegedly gay people being thrown off a building. Like, we need to see that shit.
Yeah.
Like, every time you post images of what you say are gay people thrown off a building, you're telling me that you care about me because you're showing me that, really?
No. And they keep going back to that same trough. But what about his blackface?
They tried to.
We've done it. We've dealt with it.
They tried to get us to hold your head underwater. We said no. So now they said, okay, fine. Let's see if we'll get them. Because they think you're like that. They think that you're those kind of people, and they do not think. I know that the wide majority of Muslims here in Canada, and probably Muslims throughout the world, because essentially we're all the same as human beings, are kind, decent, welcoming, accepting, tolerant, just want to get along with their neighbors, just want to do good things. People, right?
And everybody's looking for something that divides us, and here's a simple thing that unites all of us. It's a universal truth. A universal truth amongst every single living human being on the planet. We all eat, we all sleep, we all shit, and we all die.
We all love. This wonderful, welcoming, tolerant, beautiful people who would be very happy to just live and let live. Who don't care what's going on in your bedroom, who don't care what's underneath your clothes, who don't just... Are you a douche? No, we can get along. I am convinced of that in my heart, and through every person that I've met that shares that religion, with whom I've had an interaction, the totality, I am convinced. So, but as in every culture, like we have unfabulous gay people, there are unfabulous Muslims. This person is one.
Clearly.
Right?
Clearly.
And again, there are more of us than there are of them. And even within the Muslim faith, there are more of us than there are of them. Good people. So this wedge thing is just really, it's noise. It's loud noise. It's a waste of time. She's an energy vampire and a drama magnet.
Energy vampire. I love that moniker so much, because I didn't understand what it was until I read a book about it one day while I was waiting for before I say the word I'm about to say, let me preface it with the fact that I was trying to get into a secure space, and to do so I needed to wait for my escort to show up to take me there. Even though I'm cleared, I didn't work for that department, so I couldn't just walk in. So I read that book, and it's like, don't get vampires out of your life. And energy vampires are plenty, and they will siphon and suck the blood of your lifeblood, your energy. They will suck it right out of you. And not in a way that you would want, like literally a vampire.
They will wear out
There's
your
the
weave till it
carotid
goes
right.
flat and frizzy.
There's the carotid right there. Let's just put the fangs in there and siphon it out.
And they are insatiable.
Oh, yeah.
And relentless.
Yeah. They'll go to the next person and the next person, and they're completely insatiable.
But we know
completely.
The conservatives believe that Muslims are angry, nasty, racist, bigoted, religious supremacists who are angry and violent and love to hate. And these people like her who are doing that are living down to conservative expectations. Not living up, living down to very low expectations. They are being the cartoon character caricatures that conservatives expect them to be and have been saying for the past 2 decades plus that they are. They think that they're allies.
No.
Oh, sister.
What they don't understand is that you are merely a rung on the ladder. And when they get to the top of the fence and are about to climb over it, they're pushing the ladder back into the moat. Oh, I'm sorry you drowned. Too bad. Just,
I mean, they're literally proposing that around the world for the people that are in boats. Just push them back in the water. They're literally saying that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, in Texas, the governor, I don't know if the Kits and Cubs know this, an email was leaked about what they were told to do to refugees that are trying to get into the United States of America, push them into the Rio Grande. Women, children, push them into the Rio Grande. How do we get to such an upside down place? Because I just like, that when I read that, all I could think of was Michael D. Adder's political cartoon of Trump on the golf course in his golf cart, where the drowned little boy, 4 or 5 years old, drowned on the beach face down. Trump pulls up in his golf cart. Mind if I play through?
Mm-hmm.
Again, exasperated. I'm so damn tired of this, and it just continues to go on. And as we've said, when you sign on to your Twitter, make sure you're on the following page, not the For You page, because the For You page, oof, it's nothing but vile hatred. And every now and then I'll just start scrolling. I'm like, what is with, oh, hang on a sec. Yeah, I'm on the wrong page. Click, there we go. And I'll see things on the following, pages of folks that I follow who are retweeting other people. And I'm going to disagree with a number of them for sure. But when you go on the For You page on the Twitter, Jesus Christ almighty, it's just a endless stream of hateful, angry, vile garbage.
Yeah. She'll put it up, Mr. Grizzly. I found it.
Yeah, you found it. Thank you. This is totally what Greg Abbott in Texas is doing. Is it showing? I don't see it.
There we go.
There we go. Do you mind if I play through? There's a father and his drowned child. Do you mind if I play through?
And leave it since it's up, since it's working. Let's there we go. And this was the other one. Do we need other minority groups? Do we have other minority groups allowed to display their identity in our schools? Yes. Yes, we do. And then this person here is from Thorncliffe Park, TDBS. Marches for Kindness. We have our Ramadan Acts of Kindness calendar up. Today, students can show kindness by helping their teachers around the class. Madame, can I help you decorate for Ramadan? a beautiful iftar.
Yeah. Yeah. Are they allowed to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for decades. For decades. That's why you were
Decades.
so.
That's why so many people want to come to this country. Because you are allowed to be exactly who you are. Even if you're a hateful prick, you're allowed to be that person in this country. You're going to get called out for being a hateful prick.
That's it.
FAFO, right?
You're allowed to be a hateful prick, and we're allowed to say, hey, stop being a hateful prick.
Stop
and then
being
you
a
can go,
hateful prick.
oh my God, you called me a hateful prick. Well, if the shoe fits.
Oh, sweetheart, did you not see that? That's a perfectly fitted, custom, tailor-made shoe for you. Custom tailor-made shoe. You had it made, you put it on, then you got mad because it fit so perfectly. And we pointed out how perfectly it fit. You didn't like that. Well, guess what, kitten? That's how it goes.
The shoe fit you better than it fit Cinderella.
Everybody knows that the dice loaded.
Jeez.
Everybody knows that the good guys won.
Jeez.
Or is it lost? I can't remember the lyrics to the song. It's been too long.
Speaking of...
That was my Leonard Cohen.
Speaking of Abbott that you mentioned, CNBC does a study analysis every year and comes up with what are the best and worst states to live in for workers and families. Right. The top 10 worst states: Florida, Arkansas, Tennessee, Indiana, Missouri, Alabama, South Carolina, Louisiana, Oklahoma, and the absolute worst, Texas. All governed by Republicans.
Did you notice the theme to all those states? Where they're all sort of in the Bible Belt, the southern area of the country.
And that's one of the main reasons why they're all the top 10, all of these anti-inclusivity laws.
And what did our esteemed, okay, I was trying to say that in jest, but I can't even mention Doug Ford's name and the word esteemed in the same sentence. What did Doug Ford want to do? He wanted to adopt, was it Arkansas or Alabama's school curriculum?
I missed
that. Oh yeah. Yeah, no, that was a couple of years ago. And I remember reading this. I'm like, what? They have the lowest education. What? It's the worst in all of the 50 states of the United States of America. The worst. Yep. The bottom of the barrel, and he wants to bring it in. I love the uneducated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we understand. Keep them dumb, keep them drunk, keep them high. They'll continue to vote for me, and they won't know all the shit I'm doing to them because they're drunk and dumb and high.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And speaking of that, that's a note I made. A couple of weeks ago, you mentioned that Doug Ford lost the mandate letters case. I looked all over for news on that. I couldn't find anything.
Interesting, right?
No, but literally nothing, nowhere. Not CBC. No, there's no reporting at all.
It's like it's been scrubbed from the internet, but it happened. I read it.
Okay.
Here's the thing.
I looked for it on the day of.
Yeah, no, he's fighting it again.
Yeah.
He does not.
Okay.
He's fighting it again. And guess who's paying for that? We are.
Okay.
It's already cost us, I think, $120 million in legal fees.
Oh, yeah.
And we have a $22 billion surplus that he's trying to figure out how to give to his wealthy donor friends, because you and I will never see a penny of that.
Yeah. I'm probably going to have to, then I'll have to write to Robert Lee and ask, maybe he knows something about it.
Yeah, he'd be on the case for that.
He would be on the case for that. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, hold on. I got something in my throat again. I'm sorry.
It happens, It's I get the cough every now and then, so I just hit the cough button, which is actually the mute button, but in the industry we call it the cough button.
I'm a little phlegmy. It seems.
I'm a little loopy thanks to the medication I've taken to try and eliminate my oncoming migraine. So we might have to Might have to sign off shortly because I'm fading.
Okay. If you are living in BC, British Columbia's Public Safety Minister, Mark Farnworth, has announced that he has rejected the request of the Mayor of Surrey to unravel the fledgling, established just 3 years ago, Surrey Police Service in order to return to RCMP policing. A few years ago, the mayor, before the one they have now, vowed to scrap the RCMP and bring in municipal policing, and then this new mayor ran on bringing back the RCMP. But they're already 3 years into building a new police force. So they're sort of stuck in the middle, that nowhere land where it's like you're kind of committed. There have been people
follow
fired.
through.
Yeah. So
to scrap it would be stupid. It would just cost too much money.
So
no point.
The Minister of Public Safety is quoted as saying, "Over the last number of months, we asked the city of Surrey to produce a plan that met mandatory conditions to keep people safe, a plan that did not rely on officers from other areas, and that prevented a failure of policing in Surrey. For the second time, the city has failed to demonstrate that moving back to the RCMP would be safe and will not impact other communities across our province." And the main thing that's going on is that, the alternative would have to been to take RCMP officers from around the province when the force has a shortage of officers with 1,500 vacancies in British Columbia alone to fill. So, no, you're not going to take from Peter to pay Paul here and leave other communities short, was basically the BC. So beyond the financial argument. And $150 million in additional funding were announced to help the city complete the transition. Today is the day that the Canadian national women's soccer team plays its match against Nigeria at the World Cup. I will look that up for you because I don't know off the top of my head, or if some of the kids who are listening could, that would be really great.
I want to see that.
However, a little bit of tragedy.
Holy shit, it's July 20th. Wow.
I know.
Wow.
I know. Right.
I'm 15 days into year 55 and I don't know what to make of it. I was disappointed yesterday when I had to go to the pharmacy to pick up a couple of items. I was like, ooh, it's a Wednesday. I get the seniors discount now. No, I got to wait 10 more years. They pushed it back. Remember that one particular brand of pharmacies that are nationwide owned by a grocery store?
Mm-hmm.
They used to have Seniors Day on Wednesdays. Well, now it's on Thursdays, and it was 55. Now it's 65. I'm like,
oh,
damn it.
Oh, wow.
I can't catch a break.
Can't catch a break. Yeah, really. So it's at 10:30 tonight.
I'm going to stick around for another 10 years just to get that, just to get the discount.
So the match will be at 10:30 tonight. Thank you, Kit Linda M. I appreciate that. And unfortunately, things got marred because as New Zealand won the opening match, which was great in Auckland, there was a shooting in New Zealand near the fan zone.
You know how rare that is?
Yeah.
New Zealand?
Yeah, close to the hotel for Team Norway. 6 people, including 1 police officer, were injured. 2 civilians, as well as the shooter, were fatalities. So, not a great way to get festivities started off. But so yeah, it's kind of again, right? You have an opportunity to have your moment. You're hosting a World Cup. Your team plays its first match. It wins, and nope, sorry, can't have it.
This is why we can't have nice things.
Bingo. Right. In Italy, the heat wave is getting real bad. They're expecting temperatures of 45 degrees Celsius pretty much everywhere. Some emergency units have seen an increase of up to 20% in patients. There's a hospital in Naples that saw a new patient every 6 minutes for 24 hours. Sicily could see the highest temperatures on the European continent over the next few days. And Italy
on fire.
is ramping up care outside of regular hours and ramping up outside of hospital care in a manner similar to which it existed during the COVID pandemic. Basically, heat-demic. They're treating it like. The World Meteorological Organization says that Europe is warming twice as fast as other continents, and they're actually recommending that in heat, this might not make you happy, but to avoid coffee and alcohol because both dehydrate you. Just stick to the water.
But yes, no, I agree.
Yeah.
It's
when temperatures get that hot, because there's there was some more research that came out because we used to believe that you could people could tolerate a certain amount of temperature, particularly with humidity at one time. And it turns out that it's not the case. It's much lower. I believe we thought you could be up to like 91. They gave it in Fahrenheit. So I don't really remember it off the top of my head, but I think it was like 91 degrees Fahrenheit at 100% humidity or something like that. 104 at 50% humidity, or 91 at 50% humidity. But turns out that even like consistent temperatures of 87 Fahrenheit at very high humidity will create a situation eventually where you will not be able to hydrate enough. So yeah, it's not good.
No, it's all bad.
On the soccer news thing, also it seems that Team Canada might be very, very, very close with Soccer Canada and striking a deal of some sort that will for the equal pay and all of that kind of stuff that they've been talking about. So a lot of the team members have been asked a few questions about that while they were on the practicing, and they're basically saying they don't really want to talk about that, and they haven't been thinking about that for the last while because they've been under preparation. But it does seem that they are closer to having an actual deal on that, which would be nice. And the other thing I heard is that apparently yesterday, somewhere in the world, there was, I think it was in Germany, a friendly soccer match against like that number one team, the Bayern team for which Alphonso Davies plays, and some team that I think is like in the 9th division. And like one of my complaints about soccer is that it's boring because there's no scoring. Apparently the match was 27-0. Yeah.
Jesus.
Bayern Munich wins 27-0 in first preseason match. The defending German champion beat 9th tier Rotak Ergen 27-0 on Tuesday as Bayern showed no mercy against the amateur side.
It's a friendly though. Like why run it up like that?
I do not know.
That's not sporting at all.
But like apparently, I guess it's a thing in soccer because back in 2019, Bear played them before and it was 23-0. So I'm guessing you score the goals. There's no mercy rule in soccer, it seems.
No, well, and there isn't, but it's like it's a friendly. It's not an Olympic tournament where
well,
you win by one goal.
That it doesn't count, right? In standings. But I'm guessing, see, here's the thing, right? Do you want to play against the best as they're playing the best? Because when does the 9th tier team ever have a chance to share the field?
Yeah, so you'll want to play, but why are they running up the score? That's just greasy.
Well, it seemed the home team had a better second half because it was 18-0 in the first half, but 9-0 in the second half, so they were getting better.
Well, yeah.
But here's the thing, right? Because it's like when I play tennis against somebody who's so good and I feel like I'm just like target practice.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be about something else, right? Because you're not winning.
Yeah, and it does improve your game, right?
Or I remember this one time I was at this Bonspiel and we were playing against third round against like a champion team, A division champion team, and we were D. And we looked at the scores and said, okay, well, both teams they played in the B and the C division both lost by a little more than 10. So we're D division. So if we can limit them to under 10, and we were the only team in the tournament that limited them to under 10. I was like, yes, they only beat us by 9 instead of 12 or 14 like the other teams. We gave them the toughest fight. Yes. You take your victories where you can get them sometimes. But yeah, 27-0. Yay.
Shifting gears. I got something for you. You're going to love. You're going to love this. It's hard to make out, which is why they have captions on the screen. You're going to love this because I do. So I
Okay.
know you will. And I know all the kids will love this too. This is Lady Gaga.
Ooh. Oh.
You're going to hell. You are going to hell. You can see she stopped, took a beat, and said, I'm not letting this one go. Turned around, walked back, kissed her on the lips, and said, you're coming with me. I'm like,
Now you know that
how
other
sweet
lady's
is
gonna,
that?
you know that other lady's going to charge her with assault now, right?
Oh, of course you will. Of course you will. So what? You think Lady Gaga gives a shit?
I know, but you know it's going to happen.
Oh, of course it will. Yeah.
Unless she doesn't want all the attention, because if she knows that she does that, she's got like all the little monsters are going to flood whatever account she has.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's for a film?
Okay. Darn.
Oh, it's not real. Oh, it's a movie scene. Yeah. Okay. Right.
Okay.
Sorry.
Crap.
Didn't
It's
know.
going to be
Either
one hell of
way.
a scene. It's going to be one hell. Okay. Things in movies you'd like to see in real life.
Yeah, and I just got a thing here. Yes, folks, it's a movie scene. I figured everyone could see the overhead camera, but here we are. I didn't think I had to go into that, and it's not my wording on the video. Based on my recent attacks from Christian folks, it seemed to fit my attitude. Okay, all right, fair. Yeah, okay. It's from the first Joker movie. I didn't recall that scene, and I have seen the film, but whatever. I've had over 20 concussions, so my memory's not so great.
A little tidbit on that over-the-counter birth control pill in the United States. I didn't know that, but the United States is there's about like 100 countries in the world that already had an over-the-counter birth control pill.
Yes. Yeah.
Before that, and it seems that according to studies, about half in this day and age, half of the 6.1 million pregnancies in the United States are unintended. That surprised me, that with all the education and all the access and all, like that so many of them are still unintended.
No. Hang on. All the education? No, they don't want that taught in the schools. Which is why there's so many pregnancies, because they don't want to teach that in the schools, remember?
But given the number of years we've been talking about,
it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant because there's a new generation who I don't want my kids learning about that in the school. I'll teach them myself.
I know. I'm just like sitting there. I was like, oh, it's like just with all like life planning, and you would think that more children were planned, or a greater percentage of the pregnancies were planned, but it seems not. So, yeah. So maybe this is going to help a lot, because if it's a question of access, wow. It's just, you think you know how the world, you just think, well, we have access to all of this. We know all of this stuff's like, so, like, and everybody talks about like teen pregnancies having gone down, and, but it's like, you just, wow. Just, there are really that many unplanned pregnancies.
Mm-hmm.
The things you know, the things you learn. All right. I think that's about it for today, Mr. Grizzly.
So, yeah, we'll jump off in a sec. I'm reading something here that I cannot determine whether this actually happened or not. So I'm not even going to mention it, but it's interesting. But there is a video clip attached to the tweet. I'm not going to read the tweet because I cannot verify that it's factual, but it's interesting if true. But Sorry, just give me a sec while I cue this up. It says, ground rules for people attending Pierre Poilievre events. Trudeau for treason shirts not allowed. Homophobic shirts permitted. And I'm going to show you this video clip here. Give me a sec while I load it up. This is from Tony Doe on the Twitter. And let's just have a look at this, shall we?
So what's that? What's going on here right now?
They're refusing to let me in because they don't like my shirt.
Sorry, so you're not allowed to enter the event because your shirt says "Wanted Trudeau for treason."
Yeah.
So we're at the Conservative campaign, the party of freedom, free speech, free media, freedom of expression, and you're not welcome in here with your Trudeau for treason shirt?
No.
Okay, thanks for letting me know about that. And
it's funny because the last rally you had in St. Catharines,
yeah,
they were handing out Fuck Trudeau stickers.
Okay.
So I could turn my shirt inside out, but why would I do that?
Yeah. So
I thought free speech included T-shirts. I'm not asking him to come and take a photo with me and get embarrassed and have to apologize.
Wow. And literally your shirt says, for committing treason by illegally invoking the Emergency Act, facing life imprisonment. There's no vulgarity, there's no swearing, and the back says F Trudeau with the Canadian.
There's no vulgarity, there's no swearing, and then he turns around to shove.
Yeah, actually there is. So I think what Tabby G says here is pretty apt. That looks staged. Probably was. But interesting how he said they were handing out F. Trudeau stickers. He said it, not my words. He said it. I cannot verify that statement. If anybody is able to verify that, let us know. But I can't verify it. But it's like, this is cute. I like what Christian has to say. Nobody wears a cutoff tucked in. You're right. You're right about that. It's like, yeah.
But here's the thing, right? This guy says he was trying to enter a conservative event.
Mm-hmm.
And he can't with it. So again, I keep on asking if this is staged. Eric, is he really a PPCer? Or is he really one of us? But this guy here goes over there, says he's wearing a Fuck Trudeau t-shirt, wanted for treason, and that the Conservatives won't let them in because they don't believe freedom of speech. And they were handling, again, just I can't tell yet whether or not these are genuine people or whether or not somebody's trying to drive a wedge. And I can't tell if they're actually PPCers who are like cleverer than your average bears, or whether they are people from our community who are just, it's like, you want to see us play dress up?
Mm-hmm.
We can do honk honk drag too.
Well,
because it's don't get it wrong. It's drag.
Oh yeah.
It's drag.
Walks like a duck and talks like a duck.
It's drag. It's F. Trudeau drag, but it's drag. Drag is not just the opposite gender clothes.
Well, here's an interesting statement from Benita Adams 94 at Benita Adams 94 on Twitter. This is obviously staged. Pierre Poilievre reads the public backlash over the insensitive UCP PC photo ops taken during the stampede and now wants to damage control. You're not fooling anyone with this any more than you changing your appearance now makes you look likable.
That's could be the other one, staged by the party to make it appear that, okay, let's just shut these liberals up and let's pretend, but it's not really. And then the guy probably just
don't know.
And then, like, you know,
if
in 2 days we see a picture with Pierre and him together, then we know he just went back, or he went right back in.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, these people, These people, again,
They make me pull my hair out.
it's like they work so hard at this. Like, I keep on saying, this is your life. We have limited, precious, valuable moments within our life. We have experiences to have. We have foods to eat, people to meet, people to love, friendships to make, beautiful things to leave behind. And this is what you're doing with yours.
Every now and then I just I'll click on something and go, okay, that angered me, but let's see how the ratio plays out. And here's a good one. Brian Lilly. CBC needs to go, full stop, no more funding. TorontoSun.com. Lilly, John Baird story, more proof that the CBC needs to be defunded. Let's scroll down a little bit, shall we? He's on video saying it. Jesus frickin' Christ, how dense can you be? Are you advocating for your foreign-owned media bosses' funding to be cut to zero too? Baird is lying. Post Media is a foreign-owned influence operation and needs to have all taxpayer subsidies. Haha, big joke, CBC. Not many are laughing. Shameful. Government-funded media getting real close to a communist rule here. Okay, that's,
Yeah.
This is the one I love, though. If one does not want to be accused of praising the PM leadership, then one should choose one's words more carefully. Example, don't use the words, in quotation marks, one of the most successful political leaders of our generation.
Like, seriously. The only thing that wasn't happening was that music, like, from 2001 back.
Zarathustra.
One of the most successful leaders of our generation. Baba!
Yeah. Also, it's called Also Sprach Zarathustra. Dun, dun.
It's like,
bum, 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 bum.
It's like, dude, we all saw you.
We saw you do it.
Who are you going to believe? Like, Pierre Poilievre's press person or your lying eyes and ears?
One of the comments here is it's like, yeah, CBC has to go because it doesn't lie. The cons depend on lies to move forward. They just don't realize that perhaps Canadian society isn't the same as the society next door that takes this information from Fox News, the most notorious lying media on the continent.
Mm-hmm. And that's why Fox News is covering Canada now, because, the Conservatives don't want Canadians to get their news from the CBC, so they're trying to direct them there. And let's be honest, the real reason why they're mad about this meta thing, right, and Google not putting Canadian articles is because, 95% of the press is pro-conservative. And they were circulating their propaganda and misinformation and disinformation for free. Now they actually have to work to getting it out, because you can't just click on your Googler and find it, or you can't just go on your Facebook and be looking for a recipe and then hear about how Trudeau screwed you up, because it's not there. If you want it, you actually have to go to the crap sites that actually produce that stuff. So yeah, I can see why they're a little pissed. The biggest amount of free advertising they got just went.
It's just so exasperating.
Yeah, throw your little mantrums. Canadians can't get any news, right? You're the defund the CBC people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we believe that you're upset that Canadians are not getting news. It's not news that you're upset they're not getting. You're upset they're not getting the whitewashed conservative propaganda lines through the Sun Dispatch and the National Post Dispatch and the Global TV Dispatch and the Global CTV are still there, but you know what I mean.
I'm putting a link in the chat to the Toronto Sun story written by Brian Lilly about how John Baird's story, more proof that the CBC needs to be defunded.
They are so pissed off.
You're in panic mode when you're saying, I didn't say the things that you have me on tape saying. We all watched it, dude. You did it.
You hugged them.
Look, we all understand that Pierre hasn't found his handle to the closet door because all he ever does in question period is stare at Justin Trudeau with loving eyes. John Baird, who is on the other side of the closet door, who's never publicly announced it, but no, everybody knows it's no secret, lovingly embraced the most successful leader of our generation. His words.
Yeah, because I'm sure the government doesn't write the manner in which they're going to introduce the Prime Minister of Canada for the Canada, Australia, whatever thing he's leading.
Apex Summit.
Yeah, get Linda. Ew, he touched a Liberal. Ugh, sacrilege. Dip him in holy water. Rub him with garlic. Pass the cross over him like a scanner on Star Trek. Oh my God. Yeah, yep. He's literally blaming CBC for doing the job he claims to have. Oh well, at least we're going to be saved a little thing, because remember that Toronto Star Post Media merger thing that was announced?
Yeah, it's
those
not
talks
happening.
fell apart. So at least that's not happening. Keep them apart. Maybe they'll both die a slow death much more quickly. They deserve to die. These publications deserve to die. Just government, don't fund them again. Take your money and fund something new.
Here's the thing. A couple of years back, when the airlines came with hat in hand begging for money, and the federal government gave it to them, a friend of mine who was in a very powerful position at one point in his career, he's since retired, but he said, I wouldn't have written the check. I go, really? He goes, no, I wouldn't have. And I go, well, I don't think they should write the check. Let them fail. Somebody says, well, those people will be out of work. And I go, for about 5 minutes. They'll have EI, they'll have severance packages, and then they'll get a job when somebody else steps in to take the place. Because when you leave a gap in the market, somebody always comes in to fill it. Period. Now, they might do it for a slightly improved profit margin by hiring less people and paying them less, but the hole will be filled. Mm-hmm. Case in point, the former national, and I say national because, international because they were in the United States and Canada, bus company who ran stations all across the country and ran all over the country, closed up shop in Canada a couple of years ago. And who filled their places? Oh yeah, that's right. 2 companies. Megabus and was it Flixster? The other one?
Yeah.
Flixbus. Megabus and Flixbus filled in for the former Greyhound.
And they're both.
Greyhound had a monopoly. They went away. 2 companies have come in to take their place.
And they're both providing much better service at much better rates than Greyhound ever did. Greyhound was a mess.
It was a monopoly. That's why
they had no competition. And it was a mess for over a decade. It was horrible. Absolutely zero public service skills. None. No wonder it went belly up. Nobody wanted to ride that thing.
Well, didn't we just say this the other day? That this comment from Linda? Yeah, the Liberals should turn that into an ad like Biden did with Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Absolutely.
We kind of said that just the other day,
yep.
and you know damn well that's going to happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know damn well that's going to happen. It has to.
Yeah.
When you have the campaign chair for the leader of the loyal opposition state it's the most successful politician of our generation.
Yep. And that whole thing, right, when we're talking about like moving, the Liberals have gone so far left. If I was the communications person, that commercial's already written. That article, the clipping from the article from Bloomberg, right?
Mm-hmm.
Canada's doing better. The one from the Telegraph, the woke economy is the envy of Britain. Trudeau has diversified the economy like never before. Lowest GDP, lowest CPI in all of the G7 at the moment. Just all those things, all that sort of show the moderate conservative, the blue liberal, that the bona fides are still there. Brian Mulroney, the leadership. John Baird, the most successful. the commercial writes itself. And then you put that in all the places where conservatives advertise online, targeted to conservatives. Just saying. Just saying. It's right there. It's right there. All right, Mr. Grizzly, do we have a show?
We do.
All right.
We do. There's several of the topics, but I don't have the gas in the tank to discuss them today. We'll try and get to some of them tomorrow.
That's quite all right.
We've been going for 2 hours, and my medication is kicking in, which means I'm going to be a zombie shortly, and I have to meet with my dad later today. So I'm going to have to go lie down.
And we might be doing a pre-record for next week, this evening as well.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Has Jake responded to us? Do we know?
Yeah, he's in for Friday.
He's in
for Friday.
Yay. Okay, so Kit, so on Friday, your old pal, our old pal, or our new pal, or just our pal, Jake.
Your old pal Jake.
Your old pal Jake from the What You Can Do Network is coming over, and we're going to ask the states.
The fuck is going on?
Y'all all right down there?
Yeah, you okay?
And then we're probably going to dish because, well, like I said, Trev got a Target letter, and well, you know Jake when he's a very happy man. That look that he gets, that. There's been a lot of that lately, so we like to bring happy people onto our show.
Well, and let's try and put a bow on this week with some joy and happiness and a little bit of Schadenfreude.
Yeah. Hey, remember, it's not only Schadenfreude, it's return on investment.
It's true.
Very true. You put in all the capital having to listen to accordion hands whine and bitch and moan and complain and steal children from their parents and try to ban Muslims from the country and all that crazy shit and let people die from COVID, especially at the beginning days when he thought it was mostly Democratic areas, so that could help him win the election if he just let Democrat voters die. And then it hit the red states, and then he got fucked. So, you endured all of, and then, of course, as being Canadians, watching him making his punching bag whenever anything went wrong in the United States, and he would blame Canada and try to cripple our economy in some way. So, kitties, Queen Beaver gives you permission to stock up on all the popcorn that you like. Get your favorite bevy. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the downfall of the world's and history's largest media whore, going down in flames in 4K 24/7 all around the world. You wanted attention, bitch? You got it. All right. You wanted to be famous? Oh, you're gonna be famous. Historical famous. They're going to remember you for a long time. Yeah. And I'm here for it. And you know what? I know Schadenfreude is wrong. And I don't care. Not one bit. Because I'm a petty bitch. All right, Mr. Grizzly. Roll them credits. Oh, I didn't do the extra. I should probably do the extra. Kids.
It's up to you. I don't know.
We hope you love this episode of the Daily Beaver podcast. I was going to end on like a head note and just like walk out the door. And it's like, oh crap, I forgot to take the keys. We hope you have to come back in. Just remember my exit because it was good. Forget this part.
Be right back.
Well, that's the end of this episode of the Daily Beaver podcast. We hope that you love listening to us because we love making this for you. Remember that sharing is caring and word of mouth is priceless. Let your peeps know about us. Ah, yes, Kitlinda M. If Schadenfreude is wrong, boom, boom, I don't want to be right. Boom, boom. Fans of the group Faithless will recognize what song I played there. It's called If Loving You Is Wrong, I Don't Want to Be Right. And the lyrics are a little spicy. Yes. Because democracy is something that you do, please write your MPs and your senators and your media. Get on their butts. Let them know they can't move on from this straight pride thing and wanting to keep us down thing. Because remember, They're probing to see who we will not stand up for, and they're going to take us out. And then when the next we're gone, then they probe to see who they can take out next. Don't be the ones they save for last. Don't be the ones they save for last. If you really like this podcast, you can find us on the Crier Media Network, as well as all Beaver Grizzly friendly platforms. Stars and reviews are appreciated. We love to hear from you, so reach us on our Facebook at True North Eager Beaver, on Twitter at True Eager, or by email at truenortheagerbeaver@gmail.com. And you can subscribe via our pod page, podpage.com/the True North Eager Beaver, lowercase letters, all in one word. And when we have something fresh off the bandwidth, you are guaranteed to get it, because it kind of automatically happens. There you go. Why not also subscribe to our True North Eager Beaver Media Incorporated YouTube channel? And I see that you have. The numbers are growing ever closer to that 300 threshold. Thank you so much. That helps us out big time, and make like Kit Elaine to smash those buttons, the like and the subscribe. It is very, very, very important. Very important. Get on their butts figuratively, not literally. Yes, please, figuratively. Yeah, we don't want to see that. Not from them. No. I mean, my culture, my persuasion. I usually don't have a problem with people getting on other people's butts, but not them. Not them. That's not for them. That's not. No. Nobody needs to see that nasty. No. So you got the squiggly thing that just appeared under my chin. That's where you go. If you scan that, that brings you to our pod page. And if you take the squiggly by Mr. Grizzly's head, well, then that's where you go to show your kind and generous support. Because we know that you kindly and generously support us. So if you feel that we've done a particularly good show, if you're watching, you scan that, and that brings you to the True North Eager Beaver Emergency Hydration Fund, where we hire staff to make sure that in this heat, we maintain the ability to regulate our bodies to deliver this show for you.
I'm staff.
Your staff.
I'm gonna get a little name tag that says staff, and just. I think that would be funny.
I would staff. I'd feel weird one saying boss though. Not particularly bossy.
I should get a T-shirt that says "Securite."
There we go. So yeah, scan the QR code, or let your fingers or voice prompt do the walk-in to coffee. That's spelled ko-fi.com/eagerbeaver, lowercase letters. I forgot to do a shameless self-promotion Wednesday yesterday online. Darn. Because last time I tried it, it worked. But yeah, that's where you go to make your donation, and we appreciate every nickel, and not only because, well, my picture's on everyone. Has nothing to do with vanity.
It's a beaver.
Nothing.
It's a beaver on the nickel, yes. Folks. If you didn't clue into that, just making sure.
The fact that I like nickels has nothing to do with vanity. Nothing.
No.
Just like looking at myself every now.
Just a thing.
Just a thing. It just happened to be on the money. Give me some beef coin. From the Beaver Lodge, this is
Gov
coin and beef coin. From the Beaver Lodge, this is your Eager Beaver saying, until next time, dear kids, it could be a tough world out there, so please be kind to and gentle with yourself. And while being beef coin might not generate you a lot of interest, it will maintain your interest. Mr. Grizzly, do you have some words of wisdom for us?
Hydrate as much as you can today. It's important, and I don't want to see people suffer, because we're about to get hit with another heat wave in the next day or so. So get hydrated, stay hydrated, avoid strenuous activity out in the hot sunshine, and take care of yourself. I want to see you back.
Hydrate, moisturize, accessorize. HMMA, baby. Mr. Grizzly, please roll them credits. You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver Media Podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters. CanadianTarot.com, your uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community and forum, and the Peppermaster, hot pepper sauces made from fresh farm ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind. And just a little shout out before we go to a young lady named Kaylee McKay, who's the first Canadian. And when we say Canadian girls kick ass, we do, to snag a medal for Team Canada at the World Aquatics Championships on the 10-meter platform. Her last series of dives, a little slip up on the fourth one, but so everybody else made a mistake because it was the penultimate dive, and that's the one where people get nervous. But absolutely nailed the other four in her series to bring home the bronze.
Nice.
Boom. That's how you do it. All right.
Yeah, I'm going to leave you with this visual, and I'll read it for the audio version. But this is a cute visual. I think you'll like this. So it's a photograph of the Prime Minister.
The Vogue photo.
It's from Vogue, that's right, in black and white, and it says, Justin Trudeau is, in quotation, one of the most successful political leaders of our generation. John Baird, Conservative, Pierre Poilievre, campaign chair. I believe we call that salt in the wounds, kids. Salt in the wounds. See ya.